Hi, welcome back for part 2. We're here with Janice, and Robert is actually behind the camera filming.
Hello everybody. I am sorry that I said sorry before because somebody walked in and now I was talking to my grandma who was filming part 1. So Janice, we're going to start chiming into
different aspects of my altar.
Yes.
I took a lot of time preparing this. It was very much in my heart and mind to do this. And I concentrated on the colors pink and green because they're associated with the heart chakra, and also white in that it's associated with healing. And a big part of the ritual this evening was devoted to that, and who in our lives is instrumental to bringing us to a spot of sacred healing. If you'll notice, the heart that is around Kuan Yin and the pink and the green also represent the heart chakra, and the 3 kitties kneeling in prayer in honor around her because she is also the guardian of the non-human animal spirits. If you'll notice here, behind my wand, I have a piece of the White Cliffs of Dover, which is actually a fossil. A little shell is embedded in there. My mom gave that to me. And through my preparation of the ritual, I learned to concentrate on the joys and on the good of people, rather than on what is not present in my life. What I would like to have, I think of the joy instead. I think of what I have to learn. My mother has given me my zeal and love of learning, which I then transmute and enjoy with my students.
Now, speaking of joy, I noticed that along with the kitty statues that you have here, you have pictures of your kitties. Do you want to explain that to us?
This is a picture of my Lindsay Sky, who's also my familiar, my little sweetheart. I love her dearly. This is a picture of Felden, who passed over the Rainbow Bridge back in '02. And the day that she died, my Lindsay was born, on the 8th of December. My Felden on the other side of the Rainbow Bridge is here on top of my desk at Fairbanks, Alaska, which was a place of empowerment where I earned my master's degree. And this picture is that of my dad in paradise.
How long ago did your dad pass?
My dad passed in 1998.
So that's not too long ago.
In some ways, it feels as though it is happening right now as we speak. In fact, the robe I wear was his. He bought it in Japan when we were there in the summer of 1971. It feels very often as though he's with me all the time.
I also want to add that it is a very nice robe, and it
Oh,
definitely fit with the nature of the ritual.
Thank you so much.
So
The blossoms also, of course, represent that at the point of Kuan Yin's ascension, blossoms fell from the sky, which is why we also had edible orchids for the May You Never Hunger portion of the ritual.
now
Cakes and
the
ale.
butterfly decorations, do they have any particular significance?
Well, only in that they tend to give the impression also. Butterflies, of course, were associated with the east and with air, but in this case also with Kuan Yin because they are associated with grace and beauty.
Okay.
Women in Asia who are referred to as Kuan Yin are given it's the epitome of grace and beauty.
Okay. Now there is something I noticed that you do when you first open the circle, or create the circle, I should say, at the beginning of the ritual, is that you use the hyssop water.
Yes.
Do you want to explain that to us?
Oh, sure, I'd be happy to. I have here a cedar bough, which of course is very enchanting itself. It's sacred, it's for purification, as is the hyssop water. I enjoy casting a circle with that because I feel the protective nature of the water. And of course, Kuan Yin is associated with the living water of life. Sometimes she is seen portrayed as pouring the living water of life, which is why that was the ale portion and the cakes and ale as well. I wanted to call your attention also to the dolphin motif on my altar cloth, and also the sand dollars that were used for the quarters. This is also because Kuan Yin is instrumental in ferrying sailors across the seas. And of course the sand dollar and the shells pick up that motif as well.
Okay, now for the working, you had us meditate on a piece of green aventurine.
Yes.
And then write down a name on a piece of paper. Do you want to go over that real
Sure, I'd
quick?
be happy to. We passed around a silver pen. Of course, silver is the color of the goddess. We passed it around because we, as an intimate Wicca family, are helping nurture each other's spiritual development, one another's spiritual development. And also, in honor of Kuan Yin, the goddess of compassion, I ask that we each write down that person who has helped us most in life, bringing us to a place of healing and compassion. Kuan Yin herself engendered that. She was the epitome of healing and compassion when her father, who was so cruel to her, inspired her to sacrifice her arms and her eyes to be ground up as a poultice to save his life. And she did it for love of him and the love that she knew he had in her. And of course, when you see that of love in another and you focus on it, you bring that love to fruition. And that's the highest form in the whole universe. The highest energy is love.
Absolutely. And now I know that these typically these were your quarter candles.
Yes.
And I know that typically during a ritual, when we have quarter candles, we use the colored candle that corresponds with the quarter itself. Now, was there any particular reason why you chose to use these as quarter candles instead of the traditional?
As I had last time.
Yes.
Well, the white, of course, is healing. The sand dollar, of course, evokes one of Kuan Yin's compassionate works in this world, which is to ferry sailors across the sea. But the votives were white for healing. I actually had planned on a couple of green as well, again for the heart chakra.
Okay.
Well, I just have to say it was a beautiful ritual, very mesmerizing.
I so enjoyed doing it too.
Yeah.
And
I'm so
we're...
glad you're here to share it with me.
Thank you.
And I also wanted to comment on, besides the lovely looking rope, you also have the lovely crown on top as well.
Thank you.
So
I'm glad it stayed on. I was
Can you bend your head?
Sure.
Thank you.
I noticed it has the flowers and the leaves, and it's also got little butterfly decorations here. There's a green one and there's a white one.
Thank
So
you.
it's actually very nice looking.
Thanks
Did
so
you
much.
make that yourself?
Yes, I did.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Who knew we were crafty?
God's preserve the craft.
Absolutely. Can we show the broom?
Absolutely. Oh, here it is. This is my besom, used for purification, used for defining the circle, and also, of course, for cleansing, banishing
Nice.
negativity.
I say we have Manny eat one of those edible orchids.
I'll eat one. Actually,
They're good.
they aren't bad. They don't taste like you would think a flower would taste like. It tastes like
Well, nobody really thinks about eating a flower.
exactly. It actually just tastes like a piece of lettuce
Yeah.
without any kind of salad dressing.
I thought you were going to say it tastes like chicken.
No, not at all. Maybe if I was licking a frog. It's not bad. It really does taste like lettuce, but I wouldn't make a habit out of eating it.
You wouldn't put it in a salad or something?
No. But speaking of the libation, I noticed usually aside from, the cakes, you had water as the ale, whereas typically somebody would usually have like a juice type thing. You chose very simplistic water, which again goes with the simplistic nature of the ritual itself.
Thank you. I was going to I have some ginger tea that I was going to be using instead, but again, Kuan Yin is often depicted as pouring the healing water of life, so I figured that this was the most appropriate.
All right, well, it was, and again, everything else was beautiful. So I want to thank you for being here today, and for
Thanks for having me.
absolutely and having your ritual tonight, and
And thank you again, Manny, for subbing in for Steve, who's on
Anytime.
vacation.
anytime.
And thank you again. Go ahead.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye, thank you.